Hi, everyone. Welcome to Radiant Living, Inspiring Humanity to Thrive. I'm your host, Marisa B. Today, we have with us a writer who was burning to share the value of freedom and to share a way to live a healthy life, free of pain and sickness, one that creates and sustains energy for body, mind, and soul. Today, I'd like to welcome Antonina Duridanova. I hope I said your name correctly. Thank you
Yes,
for
you did.
coming.
Well, I want to
Thank you.
thank you for inviting me to your show. I'm very excited about it, and I'd like to share everything that I have accumulated as a knowledge and wisdom in decades of travel and life overseas and America.
Well, the first thing I like to talk about, because of course you're a writer, you've written two books, at least two books so far. The first book, of course, was your journey from another country here, and it was at a time when things were not that easy to do. So could you just speak a little bit about that book? I know that the title is New Beginnings, From Behind the Iron Curtain to America, correct? Hi, everyone. Marisa B here from Radiant Living. If you like what we're doing and want to keep the conversations going, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know every time we upload a video. Thank you.
That's correct. But since the name of your show is Radiant Living, I'd like to start with a definition of radiant living.
Sure,
What
go
is
ahead.
radiant living? Yes, for all of us. Radiant living, the definition for it is for us to be healthy and to be happy. And these are the topics that I discuss in both of my books. And if I would like to start with my first book, New Beginnings, From Behind the Iron Curtain to America. This is a book which describes the story of a girl who grows up in a communist country where she's deprived of everything that people can imagine that they have in the free world. Freedom to study, freedom to choice of listening to music, choice of choice of selecting a career, what to work, where to go, even choice of dressing. And what she does is travel is the thing that really upsets her, because she's a curious girl, described in the book as a girl who wants to see the world. And her goal is, as a child even, to work as she grows up in international sector, to be able to travel with her career. At the age of 19, realizing that she cannot achieve any of her goals, she manages to escape and arrives in America with no means and knowing practically nobody. She just meets people on the way who help her so that she can realize herself and educate herself to be able to secure the position that she always dreamt of securing. So the book is very inspiring.
But if you think about it, I just want to say, if you think about it, it is not only a book about seeking freedom, not just physical freedom from the location, but a spiritual freedom, an emotional freedom, because it is a big endeavor to do that, correct? I mean, it's not easy to just leave everything one knows. It's more than just freedom, even though freedom is the underlying theme, correct?
Well, it is the spiritual freedom, because it's the freedom to be able to create, to express yourself, to voice an opinion, which that was basically unthinkable of under the communist regime. And outside of spiritual, it is emotional, because at that point I had to leave my mother and my home and everything that I knew behind, knowing that I will never be able to go back. So I wrote this book because I wanted to inspire people and tell them that anything in life is possible if you set your mind to it. And the impossible becomes possible so long you make an effort to really, risk yourself. You have to take risks. You have to overcome fear, and you have to be ready to sacrifice and to apply yourself in a way that you will get to accomplish your goal. And this is the underlining thought in the book, and this book has helped a lot of people get out of situations where they were stuck. And the goal of the book is to inspire people to get out of whatever, whether it's personal or, business or work situations. If they feel unhappy, they shouldn't be unhappy. People have to look for happiness. And this book, actually, what I'm stressing is that people should have goals. If they have goals is what will make them happy when they achieve these goals. And in the book, everything starts with an idea. I show that you have to have an idea, which eventually becomes a plan, and then you have the implementation of this plan. So, this is I would say, the way for people to really achieve anything in life. If they set their mind, but they have to be ready to really sacrifice, and they have to be ready to really learn. They have to have open minds and learn a lot of tasks in order to get to the career, or to accomplish the business or anything in life. Because I did manage to educate myself. I started with zero, nothing. And I educated myself, and I did secure a career, which I always wanted, with the international sector of the U.S. Treasury. And I did return to my homeland after communism fell. And that is the turning point in the novel, that it's a memoir, but it is a novel. It's a story where I apply my skills, which I learned in the States, to help my homeland, Bulgaria, the country, to establish new tax laws and new laws in order to
because you had an illustrious career. You had an illustrious career here. You worked in Washington, so you actually lived the book, right? You've lived the book. You're showing by example. In therapy, we call it doing the work. The person has to do the work. I mean, you're showing the example of how, to have an illustrious career, which you did. And you did, in fact, go back to Bulgaria when you were able to, right? To help them.
Exactly.
Right, with the government, when it was time.
Exactly. Well, it was an assistance which had to deal with laws, because they didn't have any laws to be able to operate in a free market economy. Everything was state-owned up to that point. So in order to have a country, to have a budget, they needed a lot of help. And this is my role, which I had at the time, to be able to help and be proactive in that stage, which was critical for the country. So I guess this, like you mentioned, this is an example which people, my readers, take in their own lives, regardless of what their situations are, to really improve themselves and to have a life which will really satisfy them. Because you have to really, in order to be happy, you have to have a life which is satisfactory.
Right. But you didn't just stop there, right? You didn't just stop there. So you had this illustrious career in Washington. You left a country that was difficult to leave. You've written a book about that time and what you did and how you lived, but you didn't just stop there. You've written a second book now to show individuals how to live a healthy life, how to encompass everything, correct? Because the second one, which is a fabulous book called Magic for Longevity, which really, again, you show your life and how you're living. Can you explain about that book? Because it does take on the whole package of how one lives a healthy spiritual life, physical life, emotional life. Can you address the second book that you wrote?
Exactly what you just mentioned. Magic for Longevity is a book which actually ties into the first book, because without the mindset for success and the approach to life, where you consider health, spiritual health and mental health alongside with physical health as important, you will not be able to accomplish anything. So the two books, they kind of correlate ones with the other. What I'm talking about in Magic for Longevity is about a happy approach to consider different methods of addressing the issues of health. Because whatever selection we have, as I said, the choice for selections is very important. And in the book, I provide details of choices that I have that have really helped me. I'm 75 and I'm in good health and fit and happy. So my selections obviously are very good, but they can be really adjusted for any person's preference. I strongly suggest yoga and meditation to be included in one's life. They're not a Western concept. I wasn't born in Europe with that concept of, exercising or activities, but they're very important, and I included them in my daily schedule. And of course, everything else that I do, is correlated to physical, to the, I would say, having a routine, a schedule where you have both mind and physical and mental exercises incorporated in your daily life. And starting
but
with
healthy eating too, right? Healthy eating, of course.
Nutrition is another, part of the formula for being healthy. And again, my approach to eating is that people shouldn't give up the food that they like. They have to watch out the ingredients, what kind of ingredients they have in their food, and also the portions. So I'm not against having pizzas and having hamburgers, but you have to watch out how much you eat and what are the ingredients in any of the dishes that you have. I strongly recommend vegetables, of course, and fruits. Yes. I come from Europe, so Mediterranean diet, this is something that I grew up with. But I'm not vegetarian. I do recommend also a food that has meat, and the book actually has recipes in the back.
Yes, which, I was going to say, I thought so. I thought there were. I knew there was recipes in there for preparing food for healthy eating, because it is a very big part of keeping oneself well, as you say in there, for not to have the inflammation, right? Inflammation and the pains and the aches. And I mean, because you said you are 75, and I've personally met you. We've met a few months back. You're in fabulous shape for your age. So you're actually living again the book that you're writing, right? I mean, you're providing information based on how you're living.
Exactly. So what I recommend in the book is for people to engage in anything that they like, which is in a positive aspect ago. Of course, I stress travel. Travel is a very invigorating experience in a person's life. It will open their horizons. It will provide them a lot of positive experiences by interacting with people of different cultures, and they will start to understand the world globally rather than giving in their own little shell where they're at in an everyday life. So travel is described a lot in the book as a source of healing your soul, and also as a source for your whole well-being, how to improve your whole well-being. There are chapters in the book about travels to Africa and Asia and Europe and South America. So with that, I intend to inspire the people to get out of their houses and to explore the world. They don't have to go to Africa if they, are not able to, but in their own neighborhood, they can do that. In their own state, they can do that. So travel is very much stressed as a way to really deal with a lot of issues that people have. Mindset, I also talk about the positive mindset. you know, the way people think, they have to think positive rather negative. You know, if there is a doubt or suspicion, that has to be looked at as an opportunity for something that can be, you know, accomplished, and not, people should not doubt and suspect things. They should consider everything as an opportunity in their lives. Um, so the way we think is the way we set our lives, because we have control over our thinking. We cannot control the outside environment, but what we think,
Right.
and you know, how we approach life and how we view life is what is going to affect our mental state. Um, Other things that I talk in the book, of course, are music and dance and art, and the power of music. Music is very powerful. It affects us tremendously. It can give us a boost to work, or it can put us to sleep.
Yes, it's true.
Or it can relax us. Yes, or it can make us dance. You know, there's certain music is designed to give us different, I would say, different ways of reacting to it. Dancing is also something that people have to consider in their lives, because there are three different types of dancing. And I talked about it during an interview in Bulgaria with a lady from one of their TV stations. You can dance by yourself, where you are totally alone, and you can be even, you know, in some kind of an ecstasy, you know, feeling the music and the rhythm and music and moving with that. If you're dancing with people, then of course you have this collective source of energy that you gain from each other when you're doing the same kinds of movements under, you know, the rhythm of the music. And then, of course, if you dance with a partner, that's a completely different experience. So dancing can really affect us mentally. And arts, of course, I'm talking about art. The book has a chapter of visits to art museums, because art is also known to be something that can help us. It's like food for the soul. So engaging in all of these, you know, activities that you could possibly imagine providing a positive effect on you is the key to really having a healthy life.
So now
Because
let me ask you, where can they get the
yeah.
books? So where are your books offered? Because I know you're a motivational speaker, so you actually are out. You do have a circuit that you are out, because you're speaking about your books, because you do motivational speaking for others about this quality of life. So first of all, where can the books be purchased? That's the first question.
Of course, they're available on Amazon, and here is the one book. New Beginnings from Behind the Iron Curtain to America. My second book, I ran out of it in English. So this is in Bulgarian language, but this is how it looks, the cover of it.
Yeah, it's
And
going into
also,
it's going into the second printing. Yes, right. You can, because I'd like to put the in the description, I want to put the links for the books. So I'd like to do that.
yeah. And also Barnes and Nobles. I do a lot of book signing at Barnes and Nobles, you know, bookstores nationwide.
Yes. And do you have a website? Do you have a website where people can go, where you might have a calendar where we see where you're speaking? Because I know you speak all over the country. Well, actually, you've actually spoke in Europe, because you were not that long ago, you were in Europe speaking in different places there. So it's really traveling all over the world.
Exactly. I just got back from Europe a few weeks ago. So to be honest with you, I haven't had a chance to update my calendar. I will do that on my website. But my website is my name, Antonina Duridanova. They can get it from my books.com. This is for the one book. And the second book is Antonina Duridanova, again, books.com. But
I'll list those. I'll list those as well. I'll list those as well in the description, so that people can have that as well. Because I also, are you on social media? for people to
I'm
see
on
what's happening?
I'm on Facebook. Yes, I'm
Mhm.
primarily on Facebook. I have some postings on Instagram, but I
Mhm.
prefer Facebook because I
Mhm.
can write more there.
Mhm.
Instagram is more for
Right,
photos.
photos, pictures, yes.
Right, exactly. And LinkedIn, I do belong to LinkedIn, so I post also there. Um, and
And that's where
Twitter, but
and
I
people
don't
can
know.
find out. Yeah. You use Twitter as well, but they can get information about where you're speaking, different locations, because as I said, you are a motivational speaker. So yes, you're speaking about your books, but you're really speaking about the type of lifestyle that provides a quality lifestyle. So you are
Exactly,
traveling all over the
exactly,
world. So if people, yes, they're coming to hear about the books, but they're actually coming to hear, your motivational speaking to everybody.
exactly.
Where are you going next? Do you speak locally as well?
Yesterday, yes, I do. Yesterday, I met with a lady, and I will be speaking. It's a financial institutions to employees of her
Mhm.
outfit of her company,
Mhm.
and I will be in Dallas September
Mhm.
27th, um, in a Barnes and Noble's
Mhm.
bookstore there. I will be going. I travel nationwide. I
Mhm.
will be going to Seattle, and I'll be in
Mhm.
Seattle October 4th. I'm in the process of getting my calendar settled for the
Yes,
fall because I just
right.
got back
Because you're
from Europe.
busy. Yes. And I
Yes,
know you were there and you were actually speaking engagements, many speaking engagements there. You were on radio there. You were on radio.
I
You were in
was.
stores. Yeah. So you were very busy. I
Right.
saw that all the traveling. So yes. And if you're trying to update a calendar, it's difficult because when you're always out speaking, it's hard to be on top of the online calendar. I mean, right. We keep our own personal calendars, but the online calendar is a little bit different. And so
Different.
is there
Yeah.
another book? Is there another book waiting for you
What's in the
to?
works?
Yes.
Well, a lot of people have been asking, like you mentioned, nutrition. So my next book that will come up, it's going to be about delicious summer in Europe or delicious European summer, because I'd like to share all of the meals that are very
Mm-hmm.
nutritious, very attractive, and very, very tasty.
Mm-hmm.
That's the importance, when you consume food, that it should be very tasty. You should really enjoy eating. Food does make us happy. And it
No,
has
I'll be
been
looking for
actually,
that book. I'll be looking for
yes,
that book because I did actually pay attention to some of the recipes that you were discussing while you were on your trip in Europe. And there were some foods that actually looked absolutely delicious. And I thought to myself, oh, I really would like to try to make those because they look, of course, they're natural, they're organic, they're healthy meals. And I thought, oh, that would be wonderful to have those recipes. So I definitely will be looking for that book but that's going to be a little bit different, right? Because you're talking about recipes. So it's a little bit of a different type of book. It's a little bit more in depth, right? For writing
right. Well,
purposes.
it will be like, I would say, a secondary book to Magic for Longevity,
Mhm.
because it will be expansion. And I'm also going to write more on the topic for habits that we have in terms of accomplishing everything that we do in life, which will be connected with both of my books, and also Magic for Longevity. Everything that we do in life is based on our habits. So we have to really analyze our habits on a daily basis. It's
Mhm.
very important that we start um, exercising and engaging in healthy activities at an early age, because
Mhm.
uh, I've had encounters, I would say, with young people who would say, well, I'm too young to start all of this. You know, they consider it therapy. It's not therapy. It's a very healthy and happy approach to life.
Right,
Hiking
it's a
is very,
lifestyle.
yes,
It's a
it's a
lifestyle.
lifestyle. If we talk about hiking or swimming or snorkeling, these are all activities in nature, and I am just referring to being in touch with nature as a very important part of our life.
Hmm.
Like you mentioned, it is a lifestyle. And why are we happy after we do all of these activities? Well, whether we realize it or not, but they're chemicals which are released in our
Hmm.
bodies, and they're referred to as the happy chemicals,
Hmm.
serotonin and dopamine. So when we climb on a hill, all of a sudden we feel so exuberant and full of energy, or when we swim, we feel so good after it. So engaging in physical activities is not just helping with your muscles or toning your body, but it's also a mental exercise. It does help with your mental state.
Yes. Oh, I have to agree. I mean, even working out that 20 minutes a day, if you do it regularly and then for some reason you haven't been able to do it a few days, you do realize that something's missing, that something hasn't been released. And then when you go back to it, even though sometimes it's a drudgery, some people feel, oh, I have to do it. But when you go back to it, you immediately realize that those chemicals are released. You right away feel better. I mean, it's a physical chemical thing that does happen. So it's absolutely
right. So you
right.
mentioned
It helps.
drudgery, but if you get into the habit of doing things, then you're going to miss it. For example, today, I don't know if I'll have time to get to the pool, and I'm going to miss going to the pool because this is something that I incorporate in my daily routine or daily schedule of what I do, and I enjoy it. So people have to think of these daily habits that they incorporate in their days so that they don't consider it as a drudgery. I do not advocate anything that people have to do. I don't advocate, for example, doing the 10,000 steps. I do not follow that.
Yes.
Why would I do 10,000 steps when I can go bike ride and swim and
Right.
do
Do
other
something that you
activities?
enjoy.
Right, and I will walk. I like walking, but I will not be counting. I do
Right.
not count calories because I know the food that I prepare is very healthy, and the portions I eat, they help me maintain healthy body. So I don't count. I don't like counting, and I don't like adhering to anything that's stringent or that really becomes like a necessity or it's mandatory. I do not like, and I do not advocate mandatory things. So I stress starting at an early age because I have to tell you that people around me at my age, they all are starting to have knee pains. They're people with knee replacements, hip replacements, and
Yes.
that I think it's horrible. And the spine especially is also very important. And you have to understand that at one point in your life, after 30, our bodies start to change. We have to engage in certain activities to help our body. So I will be brief and just mention how I got into yoga. I was in Dallas, and one day a colleague told me that there is a gym facility close to my work that is available for federal employees, and we can use it during lunchtime. So I went there, and people had mats in one part of the gym ready to do yoga. So I joined them. I'll never forget the young African American guy who led the session. He said that you people, if you don't do yoga, you'll be 60. You won't be able to tie your shoes. And I thought that was funny, but later on I discovered why.
It's
that
true.
he was
It's
right.
true.
It's true. It's true.
Yes.
So what I discovered after an hour of yoga, I went back to my desk. My hips at that time, I was 51, 52. I started to get stiff after sitting at the desk. And my hips were really stiff before I went to do yoga. When I got back, I had no stiffness, no pain, no aches. And on top of that, my mind was clear as if I just started to work. Obviously, it was the discovery that yoga really is important. Yes. So that's why I suggest that people look at yoga, intensely, especially after 50, but they should start earlier. The joints that people complain, the joint pain that people complain all the time, especially after 50, but that's a result of not doing certain stretches, certain exercises that really help with that.
And what I say is that it doesn't hurt to try it, because why would you want surgery first, right? I mean, if your option is you have to replace knees and hips, wouldn't you want to do the easier
Oh my
thing first?
goodness,
It's a very simple thing. You just try the yoga,
I'm proud.
and really you'd be
Yes,
surprised how wonderful it is, because who would want to go to surgery and have everything replaced on you? That's months of rehabilitation. Sometimes it doesn't work. It's a 50-50 chance. Who would want all of that invasive behavior, thrust upon their body, when it's just so easy to try something simple as
right.
yoga? Yeah.
Exactly. So I do recommend yoga and meditation. Meditation is
Yes.
also important for your state of mind, how you set your day. You start your day with meditation, then everything will flow really smoothly in your program. And there are a lot of things that I can mention that people have to really watch and observe during their day. For example, distraction, how to avoid distraction, how to avoid procrastination. Don't get distracted by things like our phones. When I work, I put
Right.
my phone on mute, yes, so I don't get distracted by the constant clinking. And procrastination, usually tasks that are not so favorite, they are put somehow on the back burner. But if you do those tasks earlier in the day, and then you'll feel good about them. So you should not, things cannot be procrastinated. And this is something that I stress in my first book, because when I started to study, I have 3 degrees. When I started to study, I had a plan, and I followed this plan to the teeth, because I knew that any procrastination was going to set me back, and that was not acceptable. So think about those 2 things when you approach any task that you need to be successful. And when you're successful in life, you have to choose really a career or a profession or a business engagement which will give you reward. And people a lot of times forget about the financial rewards, but they are important because they also give you freedom. And you mentioned something about emotional freedom and spiritual freedom, but there is also financial freedom,
Yes.
because a lot of times people get stuck in life because of financial issues and problems. So why not choose um, something in life which is going to give you a financial freedom? And again, that's a goal. You have to choose what kind of goal you're going to accomplish to really be financially free. In my case, it was my career, of course. It provided me with freedom after I retired, but I also added different activities and I would say different engagements in my life. I'm talking about business engagements. I owned a business at one time and I was involved in real estate and the stock market. So there are a lot of things that people can do to really help
Right.
themselves and
Right.
not
And you can
wait
do
for,
many, right? You can do many. And
right.
financial freedom is not a dirty word. It's not a
No,
bad word, right?
no,
It's something that is perfectly fine, and you can choose a number of ways to have financial freedom.
exactly.
There's no limit. There's no limit. I mean,
Exactly.
you could have as many careers as you'd like.
Absolutely, because as you see in my book, I was a teacher at first. I taught high school French and I taught at the university. But that wasn't the end of my, I would say, career or my endeavors in life, or my goals. I continued to study. I studied business, and from there on, my life changed drastically. So there are a lot of things that people can consider in their lives to really have successful, I would say, living and radiant living. Radiant is the word.
Yes,
I
exactly.
like I like
Radiant.
the choice of your
Thank
show,
you.
Radiant Living, because to be radiant, you have to be happy at what you're doing,
Yes.
and you have to
Yes.
know the rewards that going to get from doing what you're engaged in.
Yeah. And I say it's ever evolving. And we all have a right to be radiant. Whatever we believe radiates for us, we have a right to do that. We have a right to live that way. And why should we not? And so therefore you could have one career, 10 careers, you could have many different likes, many different hobbies. That's up to you, right? I mean, really the reality is that you want to have a radiant life yourself.
Exactly. Well, I'm an example for that. As you see, I'm 75, but I'm writing
Mhm.
books. So
Yes.
I haven't really stopped working. I I uh, I started this. People believe that it was probably a hobby, but it's not a hobby. It's a
No, no,
full-time
it's another
engagement.
career. Yeah. Right. It's
Yes, it
another
is a
career.
career because I am also a speaker, a motivational speaker.
Yes. Yeah.
I do I do motivate people to
Mhm.
really take steps in their lives to improve uh, whatever situation they're in. And even if you're completely satisfied, think if there is such a thing, is there such a thing as complete satisfaction if you're not uh, if you're not challenging yourself all the time? There has to be a challenge in order for people to be happy. So you always have to have new goals, something to accomplish.
And we're fortunate to have that, to have you have this second career, because now we have all these wonderful books, and we're able to learn, and we're able to grow because you're actually out there writing these books that are important for all of us to have. I mean, really, there it's almost a lesson plan. Like when a teacher makes a lesson plan, it's almost a lesson plan for us. We can fill in the blanks of what we may, what our hobbies may be, or what things we'd like to try, or what careers we'd like to have, but it really is a lesson plan for us to move forward, to have radiant lives.
Exactly. Because whatever you take step to accomplish in life, you have to have a plan. There always has to be a plan. Somebody said, for example, if you travel from um, one city to another, you have to have a roadmap, how to get there. And everything that you accomplish in life, you have to have a roadmap for that. And my attempt was with the book to really provide this roadmap, how to get from point A to point B. And if people read carefully, they will understand that anything that you would like to accomplish in life, there is a learning process. You have to study, you have to research, you have to learn. Whether it's going to the university and getting another degree,
Mhm.
or you self-educate yourself, there is a learning process. You cannot get from point A to point B without really having a roadmap.
That's true. Well, Antonina, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on. I know you're very busy, and I so appreciate you coming on to speak to the audience. We only just began to speak about these wonderful things. I suggest everybody buy the book. They really should buy the book and read, actually buy both of them and read them, and look forward to the third one, because it really is a lesson plan for all of us. A perfect way to incorporate these activities and these ideas into our life. So I do appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you calling me to your show because I'd like to share, topics that I discuss in the books with as many people as possible, because a lot of people feel stuck. They don't know how to really overcome difficult situations in their
Mhm.
lives. And I hope with my books, I give them an answer.
Well, I thank you. I thank you so much again for coming on. It was wonderful speaking with you. Have a wonderful day.
You do the same. Thank you, Marisa.
Thank you.